Two things I wanted to cover very, very briefly. Number one, a viewer recently asked me if I would show on camera all of my guitars. So I thought, yeah, sure, why not? I don't know that I've ever done that. Shown all of my guitars on Robert's Guitar Dungeon. So I figured that I would take a moment and do a quick video pan around the room and kind of let you check everything out. I'm not going to go through and describe each and every one of them. If you see something that stands out, feel free to ask. You know, a lot of them I've done videos on already, and others, well, I haven't, and I'm probably not going to. But somebody out there did want to see it, so starting from the far left, those are all my basses, or both of my basses, I should say. I've only got two of them. There is my BC Richwall, which sits next to the Gibson Epiphone wall, which sits next to the, you know, I don't really have any high-end Fenders, but what those are, that's my very first guitar, and you know, a cheap Strat and a cheap Telly in case I ever need a Strat or a Telly. And that is an empty hook. There is nothing that goes there. It's just there for when the day comes that a new family member arrives. There we got a couple of Washburn, or a Washburn, a couple of Charvels. My Schecter, that I've used that one in videos quite a bit lately. You know, the Kramer Focus, 1984 Kramer Focus. I think it's a 91 Aria Pro 2. The custom guitar, that white guitar, is known simply as Frank. Not really a whole lot of info on it. Don't really know who built it. But it's a very cool, very unique guitar. The pink one, of course, is the 84 or the 85 Hamer Scarab that I've done in a few videos. And of course the Xiphos, I get asked about that one quite a bit. No, it still isn't for sale. You know, my Dean Razorback, the Washburn Dimebag guitar, and of course the Washburn, USA Washburn Signature Paul Stanley. And one last thing, of course, is my trusty old Yamaha, not old, it's only a few years old, but my trusty Yamaha A1R acoustic. And I do plan on doing a video on that here in the near future at some point. So what you see there is just about everything that doesn't quite fit on camera in this room. So when I'm doing my videos. That being said, you know, most of the I've spent the most of my life collecting these guitars. I did not come into a sum of money or any, you know, a huge inheritance of some kind, and you know, all of a sudden got to go crazy buying guitars. You know, I buy one or two a year maybe. You know, and every now and again, if there's a reason to, or if it's something I just don't like, then I might sell it and buy something else with it or trade it. But you know, for the most part, I still own just about every guitar that I've ever bought. That being said, the main thing that I wanted to talk about is that I started a new, I mentioned in my last video that I was going to start a new Patreon account. And Patreon, whatever it is, the web, it's Patreon. Regardless, I went ahead and did that, and it is up. And the reason why I did that is because I really enjoy doing YouTube demos on various pieces of gear, and I try to do the best that I can to demo products that are still, you know, that are current and you know, that have a lot of interest. Sometimes I'll demo an oddball something or other, you know, sometimes just for my own enjoyment, or sometimes because I can't find anything. I can't find another good video on YouTube about it. But you know, there's some things that it just doesn't make sense to do a demo. Like I'm not going to do a YouTube video on, most likely anyway, I'm not going to do a YouTube video on my 1985 Hamer Scarab. You know, that guitar's over 30 years old now, and you know, number one, you know, Hamer's not even in business anymore. It got bought out by Fender, and Fender closed the doors on Hamer several years back, so they're not being built anymore. And the ones from that era, the only ones out there really that you can find are the import models. The USA models, like the one that I have seen very, very, very few others out there. So I mean, they're very difficult to track down, and you know, and I don't know what the demand is on it. And you know, if I do a video on something like that, I mean, obviously what I want to be able to happen is for lots of people to enjoy it, and you know, lots of people to want to see it, and you know, to do something on a product like that, or you know, another old guitar that, you know, that I've modified to death, that you know, it's modded to my specs. You know, nobody's really going to care about that except me. So you know, but all the stuff that I have done demos on, you know, it's all stuff that has come out of my own pocket, and as well as, you know, all the camera and video equipment that's required, you know, the video software, you know, not to mention the time it takes to, you know, to put a video together and edit it and upload it to YouTube. You know, that process alone takes, you know, anywhere from 2 to 6 hours on average. And you know, just the editing portion, you know, then again, waiting on my computer to, you know, to upload and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of expense involved, you know, so which brings me to why I set up a Patreon account. You know, hopefully that, you know, right now I got about 250 subscribers, so there's about 250 of you. You know, even if I can get 10% of you to, you know, to contribute to supporting the channel, you know, that would be a huge, huge help and enable me to, you know, to do two things. You know, number one, be able to, you know, to keep demoing current products and current gear that you have an interest in learning about and wanting to hear a demo. And number two, you know, of course, you know, which, you know, is the most important thing to me. You know, the more that I'm able to do that, and the more that I'm able to keep this train going, the more that I'm able to, you know, to help support and raise awareness for Share the Music. And that is, you know, as I've said over and over and over again, that's really what this channel is about to me. Giving the gift of music away, you know, helping people gain awareness to that great organization, you know, and sharing my experience that I've had through the MI business, as well as, you know, as in the music business, you know, with those of you that, you know, that either maybe just be getting started, or even if you're experienced or more experienced than me, you know, there's always something that somebody can learn from somebody else. That's really the most important thing to me about this channel and why I do this. You know, of course I do it because I enjoy it. You know, who doesn't like sitting around playing and talking about guitar gear? There's also a message that's important to me to carry. And you know, in order to do that, I need some support. I need some support from you know, from my viewers to, you know, to continue to grow this thing, you know, and continue to, you know, to improve the content that you're seeing, and continue to you know, to carry the message that I want to carry to those that may want to hear it. You can find me on Patreon. The web address is www.patreon.com/RobertsGuitarDungeon, and you can give, you know, even as little as $1 a month, so you know, 12 bucks a year, you know, or whatever you see, you know, you think is worthwhile to do so. Like I said, if I could get 10% of my viewers to participate in supporting the channel, even just a little bit, that would go a long, 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 long way. And again, we all get to continue doing this together. So, you know, I get to continue demoing gear for you guys and answering questions and interacting with the YouTube community, which I really, really enjoy. You get to continue to help me raise awareness for Share the Music, which again is an organization and a cause that I deeply, deeply, deeply believe in. So please check it out, and let's keep this thing going.